What's going on, guys? It's Tyson here, and this is week 2 of my vitamin and mineral series. And today I'm going to be talking all about vitamin D. So just before we get started, for those of you who didn't see last week's video, that was all on calcium. So if you did miss it, you can either click here or click the link down below just to make sure you're caught up in the series. So today's video is all about vitamin D, and the reason I decided to choose vitamin D is because calcium and vitamin D work together. You know, vitamin D is essential for strong bones. Like without vitamin D, calcium's not going to be able to play its role. Without calcium, vitamin D is not going to be able to play its role to actually help overall bone strength. So they kind of go hand in hand. They're good for muscles and they're also good for overall health, you know. So people actually, they might feel like they have low energy or they feel like they're not going to be able to push themselves, and it could actually be from a vitamin D deficiency. People don't realize because they're not getting enough sun, they're actually not getting the energy they could be using during the day. So the functions of vitamin D, they're pretty important. One of the biggest one is gene transcription. So gene transcription is all about our DNA. It helps turn on and off genes. So some genes we actually, we want turned on. That's like when you go and exercise, you start working out. We have different genes that are actually promoting that type of healthy benefit. And that's what vitamin D can do too. But it can also help prevent genes turn on. So it can prevent cancer, it can prevent heart disease, it can prevent other diseases from actually occurring if you're getting enough of this nutrient. So it actually helps the body absorb calcium and uptake it more and actually regulate it through the body. So if you're not getting enough vitamin D, like I said, you could be having weak bones, and the calcium you're trying to absorb from food isn't getting enough uptake if you're not getting enough vitamin D. So make sure that, like I said in the calcium video, if you're trying to get all these sources, you could be wasting your time if you're not getting enough vitamin D, because it's a key role to actually take up that calcium. Another big thing does actually help with glucose tolerance. People who are inactive or people who just eat crap all the time, they get glucose intolerance, right? Which means they become diabetic. This can actually mean it helps with glucose tolerance and actually help prevent you from becoming diabetic. So vitamin D is a very, very important nutrient, just from the couple of functions I've listed out. There's a couple of places you can get vitamin D from. The most important, the best one you're going to get it from is the sun. Like most people know that, right? The sun is the key thing where you can get vitamin D. It's actually the only nutrient that can be absorbed from the skin. And we get it from ultraviolet light, which is from the sun. So that's number one. Number two, you can get it from oily fish like salmon. It's not as much, and same as liver, like grass-fed liver and things like that. Now, the food components you're not going to get enough vitamin D from during the day. The best place you're going to get it, like I said earlier, is the sun. Now, a lot of people are like, well, how long do I spend in the sun? Because if you spend too long, you can actually get cancer. If you don't spend enough time, you're not getting enough vitamin D. And it's kind of like, well, fuck, like how much am I going to need? So depending on where you're from, I'm going to be speaking to the Australian crowd because obviously that's where I am, and this is what I know best. So when it's summertime, and you're pretty fair skin tanned like me, you really only need about 10 to 15 minutes in the sun with your arms exposed, because our arms are going to be the best place to actually absorb the vitamin D. I mean, if you've got your shirt off, you probably only need to spend it for about 10 minutes. But if you're just going for a walk in the afternoon and you wear a singlet, or you're wearing a shirt and it's summer, it's like the hotter times of the year where the sun's really getting through, you're only going to need a small amount of time every day. So, 6 to 7 minutes, 10 to 15 minutes, every day, just 10 to 15 minutes. So you can actually go out at lunchtime. A lot of people spend their lunch sitting inside. Why don't you go sit outside in the sun and just catch some rays? Like it's an easy way to do it. Roll up your sleeves. Like as you guys can probably see here, look at my shirt tan right now, right? So I could actually go and get a little bit of tan on same time for 10 to 15 minutes. And look at this. So this is me walking just to and from work every day. And that's all I need. It's a 15-minute walk to work, so I can be getting my vitamin D requirements. That's during the hottest times. So if you're up in North Queensland, obviously it's most of the year. But when you go down to Sydney, Melbourne and things like that, so we're looking from probably about when it starts getting warm, about September, October-ish, all the way through. And then when it starts getting colder and people start it starts getting colder, the sun's not out as long, people turn off daylight savings time, so it's darker, you actually need to spend more time. So this could be up to 30 to 40 minutes. And that's, it's a lot longer, but it just depends, the same type of thing. Because a lot of people get deficient because we cover up so much, especially down in Sydney and Melbourne, Tasmania, Victoria. It gets freezing, right? So people always want to cover up, but you've got to try and make the time to actually expose your skin. You could actually stay inside and go to, like, open the doors up or something and just not strip off, but like take your shirt off and just like stand in the sun. Or if you're laying in bed, make sure the sun's coming through and shining on you, because that's another way to do it. Like, I know a lot of people, they hate getting cold and they hate taking off, they hate getting unraveled. But at the same time, would you rather be deficient in a nutrient that's essential for life and really going to help with you, or would you rather just, cover up and you could potentially be risking health benefits like heart disease and cancer? So you've got to kind of weigh up the options there. Like I said, so you can spend on summer, you don't have to spend as long. When it's winter, you have to spend a little bit longer. But it's really easy to do. Like, you could go for a walk, take your dog, go with a partner, go for a jog and do some exercise, or you could just go and sit and have get a good tan like I plan on doing. And you see all these recommendations, vitamin D you need like between 600 and it can go like to 1,000 IU, right? International units. So that's a big margin. But you want to make sure is that you're getting in the healthy range. And that's why I gave you guys those recommendations. So it's really, really simple for you guys to be able to do. And for those of you who are wondering if you're actually deficient, right? So you get bone problems. You can have soft bones. You can actually just randomly get a fracture. So I had a friend who, they broke their arm at least 3 or 4 times. And everyone's like, oh, and they're like, no, I drink a lot of milk, I eat dairy and things like that. But they weren't in the sun as much. And so that's why the deficiency was there, and that's why they're getting so much injury, because the calcium wasn't actually getting uptaken because they weren't getting enough vitamin D. And that's just a simple story that happened to them. But now, they've been getting out more in the sun, they look better. Like, obviously they're more tan because that person was very pale skin. But now, I haven't heard from that person breaking a bone in ages. And it's just because of simple things like that. So if you want to avoid bone injury, if you want to avoid fractures, if you want to avoid being one of those frail people when you're older, especially the older the older population, you need to start consuming vitamin D and know how important it is for your body. So make sure you supplement vitamin D with the sun, obviously. If you're going to supplement it, you can take supplements. I'm not a big recommender of supplements, but if you're at the office all day and you just can't. So I hope it was informative, guys. I hope you learned something about vitamin D and how important it is, especially with the uptake of calcium. So make sure you go back and watch the other videos so you can use these two together. Next week I'm going to be talking about iron, so make sure you stay in tune for that. If you like the video, please make sure to like and share with your friends so they can understand how important these vitamins and minerals are for your body so you can live a healthy, long life. Thanks, guys. See you next time.